Blackout is barrel number 44, age 16 years, 125.2 proof.
All right, you
That's
there?
2024. Yes, I'm here, buddy. I can hear you better now. I just don't see you.
Okay. Okay, give me. I'm moving everything to a different room. Give me just a second, okay? I'll get on
You're
camera.
fine. You're fine. You're fine. Yes, I would. I'm assuming so. But when Barbecue King and Bourbon comes back, we'll find out for sure. You have that Parker's Heritage, and it's very good. Okay, good to know. I would assume that they're all going to be very good. I know the old Stubborn is pretty good. I have tried that before. It feels good to be sitting back behind the bar again. I haven't been back here in 3 weeks and on live in 3 weeks. Actually, I haven't, for that matter, I haven't even drank in 3 weeks. What's going on, bud? How you doing?
All right, you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, I'm doing good. I just running around all day. Come home, get straight. I tried to use a hotspot, but it wasn't working very well.
Oh, okay.
We keep in trouble with our internet here. Yeah.
Right.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Every day's a beautiful day, and I'm glad to be working and doing everything I got to do.
Well, that's good.
Cheers to Pork Stew.
So what do you want with?
Alrighty, so we're doing an episode of Bar Talks with Big. I got Barbecue King and Bourbon here. We're going to be reviewing these four bottles: Buckner's 15, Barrel 86, Blackout, Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Barrel number 44, age 16 years, Parker's Heritage, 14-year, Barrel Finish, and Old Stubborn Single Barrel Straight Bourbon Whiskey. And then we're going to get into a conversation, and we'll see where it all takes us. So, one of the comments that came in while you were getting set up, Sean said that the Blackout sounded like it was a buff turkey. Okay. So, which one would you like to start with?
Um,
Alexa, volume 4.
Tell you what, let's start off with Parker's Heritage. We'll start off because that's a 107 proof.
Alrighty. Let's do this. Ooh, that smells good. And just so everybody knows, I'm not doing large pours because I have to work tomorrow. And I'm just doing little bits.
put blood sugar on so you can.
Dog Legs Bourbon, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Hopefully, everybody's having a great evening. We just poured up Parker's Heritage 14-year barrel finish. I'm letting it open up in the glass a little bit. So that's what we're going to be trying here in a minute. So while we're letting this open up a little bit in the glass and nosing it, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into doing barbecue? And
So I started cooking when I was probably in my 20s. So my uncle, I used to love talking to my uncle. My uncle used to work for my dad, and my dad was a carpenter. And in the summertime, all of us brothers would go to work with my dad. And my dad always made me work with my uncle because he said I was the only one that could get him to talk. and so, but as years went by, he would always cook. And man, would cook with his buddy. They do catering jobs, and they started doing some competitions, and I loved them. And I decided I wanted to do it, and he helped me get started. He would give me some stuff and say, "Hey, try seasoning, try that seasoning," and I started doing it, and it was funny because the first cook-off I ever did, I came in dead last. I was like, and so coming in dead last, I realized the only place I had to go was up.
right.
And so then that started my journey. I started cooking and got better. I got to cook with a spiceologist out of New York who pretty much taught me how to use spices and how to break them down and get into them and how to mix them, blend them, and make them work. And it did. And I found out, and then through the course of all this, drinking beer, drinking bourbon, drinking whatever. And so and before I got into oil and gas, I was into chemicals. So while all this was going on, I was distilling 190, 200 proof food grade ethanol out of corn, wheat, and whatever else, that they make ethanol with. Mostly it was corn and wheat. And so I didn't realize drinking bourbon, drinking whiskey, drinking Crown Royal, drinking all this stuff, not knowing that was I was making it. I grew up. And coming on and getting it on and bourbon and stuff off to the side, still drinking it. Really good at competitive barbecue cooking. And then I wanted to move it over to catering, and I started doing some catering, and it just grew. I just loved cooking it. I got to the point where hey, I had a pretty decent following. Anytime I cooked something, I'd send out a mass text, and I'd sell out. And then I decided it was time, and that's when my adventure started kicking back in. And just started drinking bourbon in the house. The bourbon and the barbecue industry, I mean, they both use oak. They both start off with you have to prepare. But
Hold on 1 second. You're breaking up pretty bad right there. There you go.
Okay. So,
Well,
I
let's
mean,
give this.
that's where I've been. Been, traveling.
So we're gonna give this Parker's Heritage a try. Stephanie, it's Parker Heritage 14-year barrel finish. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished in cognac, heavy toast cognac barrels. Johnny, welcome in. Jerry, that's what we're sipping on right there. Is the Parker's Heritage 14-year. Parker's makes some of the best rye. Big fan, and cheers to that. Absolutely.
What do you think?
It's got a good finish on it, and it holds a little bit of heat, but it's definitely
Yes.
good flavor. It's definitely a good flavor to it.
Very sweet.
Yes, it does. It is sweet, and like I said, it is sweet, but like I said, it holds the heat for me, and it on the finish, and it's got a lot of flavor to it.
Tell you what,
So Stephanie asked if you tried hopping off and on or on and off your Wi-Fi.
you know what? Let me give that a shot. I'll be right back.
Already.
You see me any better?
Yeah, it seems a little bit better now. Yeah.
Okay.
Stephanie said Moses knows I like troubleshooting sound quality.
Oh, she does.
DBZ, welcome in.
So it was fun. So if it wasn't for Stephanie, I would have never bought me a new phone. I had an iPhone 6, and finally one day she says, Moses, you need to go buy you a new damn phone. Yeah.
I hear you. Sometimes getting rid of the old phone, it's harder than everybody thinks, because I had an iPhone XR, I think it was, for the longest time, and then last year I finally broke down and got a new one.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so what did you get off of the Parker's Heritage besides the sweet and
It seemed like some brown sugar
mm,
whenever I was smelling it, and when I first tasted, you could taste some brown sugar. And now that I smell the glass, it smells kind of like a root beer.
yeah, it does. Now that you say that, it did have a little bit of a root beer flavor to it. Because, like I've told you, and I've said it before, I'm still fairly new to this, so I don't really pick up a lot of notes. But if I drink it and then somebody says like, "Oh, I get this," I can see where it comes from.
Yeah. So tonight, after we finish with our last pour,
Hmm.
don't wash the glass.
Okay.
And when you smell it, after it dries out, you'll smell all the notes in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I do that. I do that a lot. If I have trouble trying to identify the flavors,
Okay.
yeah, it works.
So how many competitions have you done over the years?
Barbecue cook-offs, um, I'd probably say probably anywhere from 75 to 100.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
we would try to cook. We try to cook at least once a quarter.
Okay.
We try to compete. Sometimes we did it twice in a month. Sometimes we did it once a month. But as
Okay.
the time went on, you start getting burned out. You start spacing them out.
And how many out
Yeah.
of those 75 or 100 have you placed in the top three?
It's easier for me to tell you. So the way we gauge it is top 10%.
Okay.
You know, in the top 10%, I'd say the last 10 years I cooked, I probably had about a 80% success rate.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh yeah, and also you're cooking for the night before of Big Mike Bourbon's event,
Yes,
the Rolling Reserve event.
yes.
So,
I'm cooking. I'll be pre-cooking some briskets,
mhm,
and then what I'll make is I'm going to cook out there on the spot. I'm going to cook some pork carnitas.
okay,
Uh, I'm not going to fry them. I'm gonna cook them on a barbecue pit.
okay,
Yeah, and I told Mike what I think I would be ideal for everybody since we're all going to be talking, mingling, kind of getting to know everybody. I thought tacos would be something good. Making some tacos and where you could just get you one or two, eat, talk. Don't have to worry about having a full fledged meal.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a great time. So,
Yes.
and you were saying before you got into cooking because of your uncle, and you always talk
Yeah.
to him, and your father would say that go with him because he would talk to you and
Yeah.
open up. So
Yes. Yeah. And
that's
I don't.
that's
Yeah. That it was awesome. I'll tell you that. So my aunt one day when we got older told me that I was the only one he would ever open up to because he was in Vietnam.
okay.
And so what happened in Vietnam is he said when he enlisted because he knew he was going to get drafted.
Mm,
So he figured he'd have a better shot of doing what he wanted to if he enlisted versus getting drafted. And so he said that when he went to the recruiter, they told him he'd be a firefighter. Well, he didn't think there wasn't anything in firefighting that was honorable going to
mm,
Vietnam to fight fires. And so he became a gunner on a helicopter. On his first trip out, they shot up the helicopter. He come back and he said, "Okay, where's the fire department?" And so what they did is they told him we no longer have the fire department, but we have cook positions open. So he said, "Where's the kitchen?" And so that's where his journey started.
Wow.
And yeah, and my aunt said when he first got back, he would cook and he made amazing food, but he only knew how to cook for 100 people minimum.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. So, so what
All
do you
right.
want to try next?
So let's do the Buckner's 15.
Okay, here's what we got.
So everybody knows we're doing the show and we're reviewing 4 different pours that Moses has sent me. And the first one we did was the Parker's Heritage 14 year. And now we're doing the Buckner's 15, barrel 86. It's 120 proof. And bottle number 81, it looks like. Oh, 31, sorry, 31. Good evening, Craig. Welcome in, Randy. I seen you stopping in.
How you doing, Randy? How you doing, Craig? Buddy's Bourbon stopped in.
Yeah, I seen Buddy's Bourbon stop in too. I'm sorry. Welcome in, everybody. I'm glad you all stopping in, saying hi. We're reviewing 4 different pours tonight, and we're doing a little bit of conversation about Barbecue King and Bourbon. And right now we are doing the Buckner's 15. Thank you for the heart, me.
So two of my greatest feats in cooking were one, I placed 49th out of 500, over 500 teams.
Wow.
I missed the second cut by 4 spots.
Wow.
Now that was a pretty. I mean, that was pretty epic for me.
Yeah, I would
And
imagine. I mean, to make that out of 500.
yes, and I made the front page of the Houston Chronicle, which is the big paper.
Mm-hmm.
This week's section, they come out on Wednesdays. I made the front page of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, do you save those articles?
Yes, I do have. I have one framed. I showed it to Mike Henry, North Coast Bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
I showed it to him whenever he came over, and he said, "Wow, so you did compete?" I said, "Yes, I did."
Yeah.
You know, and most of my trophies I had given away. The only one I kept is I had a 4 foot. I have a 4 foot tall first place chicken trophy,
Wow.
and I just to me I just liked it, so I
Right.
kept it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Cheers.
Cheers.
Frankie Bourbon, welcome in.
This one starts off with the little peanuts on the front end,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes to almost kind of like a cherry.
The Buckner's 15-year barrel number 86, bottle 31, Frankie Bourbon. Windy City, welcome
How you
in.
doing, Franklin?
For me, I got the. What's up, Billy Bob?
What's up, Windy City Smokers? Damon, how you doing, Damon?
Bottle Penelope depends on. I mean, if you like Penelope and it's something that you enjoy or you want to try, then I would say yes. Penelope does do quite a few good ones. Which bottle is it? So I have to agree with you on the peanut. I didn't get any cherry off of it, but now I'm smelling the glass after it's empty.
Yeah,
I do get a little bit of fruit.
like a dark fruit.
Yes.
It has a light pepper, almost kind of a almost kind of like a burnt sugar or like a burnt.
Mm-hmm. Billy Bob, I would say the weeded or the barrel strengths, either one is good.
Yes, I've got some Penelopes up there. You can see them.
I didn't get any pepper off of it, but I do smell something that I can't identify.
At the very last, right before it, to me, it's kind of like a real light pepper, like a black pepper.
Mm-hmm. That one is another one that is decent. Is good, not decent.
Yes.
It's good. JD, welcome in. I'm gonna clean out my glass here.
All right. Let's do the rising tides next, because I'll tell you the story behind the blackout.
Okay.
We'll do this one next.
The old stomach I've had before, and I enjoy
Okay.
it.
Did you have the wheat or the rye?
Um, Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I know it was in a tube, and Dave from David Drickhouse, he
Yes.
had it, and we tried it at Preet's, and I thought it was good.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I'll smell it, and
So
I'll be able to tell you.
so this one's barrel SB06W. It's a 61.11 proof. So it's basically a 122.2.
Mm-hmm. And this is
Yeah.
bottle 53 out of 153.
Yes.
Now on the
So my
nose, I don't get a lot
yeah,
of the heat like I did with the other ones.
no.
Or the methanol, ethanol. That was a conversation that we were having before, and I think we should get into it a little bit.
We'll get into it. Let's try some of these. We'll talk a little bit about the buff turkeys, and we'll make them. We'll talk about what makes them so unique. Um, we'll just kind of Uh, so, when I was talking, well, we can get into it now. So when I was telling you earlier, when I was in chemicals and I made the 190 and 200 proof ethanol,
Mm-hmm.
we would have to get we would have to do a nose test on it when we ran our GCs. We'd run analysis on it, and because it was a pharmaceutical grade, it could only have so many parts per billion of anything in it,
Mm-hmm.
and whether it be isopropanol, methanol, ether, but the one that would always have the biggest that we would have to put through a smell test was for the ether. And what happens is a lot of times people mistake the ethanol smell, the ether smell, or the methanol smell for ethanol.
Mm-hmm.
But what a lot of people don't realize is, okay, if you got the ethanol vapors out of there, you wouldn't have any alcohol left because that's what we're drinking.
Correct.
So you put it in a barrel. The barrel takes on the ethanol takes on the flavors of the barrel, whether it be the char or to be previously aged with something else. The ethanol picks up the flavors. And if you stop and think about this, it would if you had an ethanol flavor at the top first neck pour, why don't you have it at the last one?
Because it dissipates as it goes further down the bottle.
So if it dissipated, you would lose a level in your bottle.
Yeah.
See, and that's something you need to think about,
Mm-hmm.
because if it's evaporating, your ethanol would be evaporating as well. The only thing you'd be left with is water.
Right. So
Yeah.
what is happening with it as the bottle goes down further, as you drink it down further, I should say.
So a lot of times, what you're doing is when these bottles are filled, they leave what we call the neck pour,
Mm-hmm.
but it's actually vapor space. Okay, so what happens is the barrel starts when you age it, it starts pushing a lot of that stuff up, right? When you're laying on the side, when you go to bottle it, there's still some mixed in it. So when you leave that vapor space, it allows the gases to come up to the neck, and when you pop it, that's when you hear that out of the bottle.
Okay.
Because if you think about this, if you took you take two pours out of it and you let it sit for a week and you come back to it, it doesn't pop. A lot of times it doesn't pop.
Mm-hmm.
So and so what I like to tell people to do a lot of times is if there's enough vapor space in it, you can twirl it around and create a tornado around it, right? And when you do
Mm-hmm.
that, it'll help push everything up. And when you pop it, you'll you'll hear it, it'll pull everything out. Now, the one thing that I did do is, so my brother and I were opening a bottle, and it was a store pick stag,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't care for it. He was like, hey, you can have it. I don't want it. I don't like it. I said, let's try something. This is something we used to do whenever I pulled samples back when I made 190 and 200 proof ethanol, in chemicals. What we would do is we'd take the bottle, we'd spin it and get a tornado, and we'd pop it. We'd unscrew the cap and let the vapors come out, and we'd do a smell test on it. And so when I did that, it got rid of everything out of it. It took all the gases out of it, and it put some oxygen in it, kind of opened it up. And he said, I want my bottles back. But so at the same time that you put the oxygen in, it opens it up. It will release the vapors out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, you want to get the vapors out. Now, the bad thing is, over the course of time, the oxygen starts creating oxidation in the bottle with the ethanol, which changes the flavors. It doesn't necessarily cause it to go bad. It just changes the flavors, and it can bring out some flavors that you really don't care for.
Okay. That's interesting facts that I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same one I've tasted before.
Yeah. What do you think about it? I like it. Um, so this one actually says, okay, Rising Tide Spirits product are distilled in West Virginia. So I'm assuming all the bottles were distilled in West Virginia, unless it's a weeded.
Okay. See, on that one, I got a little bit of like brown sugar, a little bit of For me, I tasted a little bit of caramel in it.
I can taste the caramel in it. Um,
So
it's
Hawks
got
was
it's got
asking, go ahead. We'll finish the nose Hawks and then we'll answer that one, or we'll finish reviewing this and then we'll talk about that.
Yeah. So it's if you think about it, it's almost got like a light almond or a pecan.
Okay, I could see that.
And the reason I say that is because we had some caramelized pecans last night with our dinner,
Hmm.
and man, it gives a strong resemblance of that. It resembles really a lot of that. How you doing, Tim? No, the so oxidation actually starts occurring when you add oxygen, but a lot of times there isn't enough oxygen in the bottle. So most people tend to recognize the oxidation to happen about half the bottle. If you have three-quarters of a bottle and you let it sit for 6 months, it will it will start to oxidize, or you'll start to notice it. It's kind of one of these, when you add a little bit of salt, you can barely taste it, but the more salt you add to something, the heavier it gets.
Hmm.
That's the same thing with the oxidation, right? I mean, you got to look at it in proportion size. There's a lot more oxygen in the bottle when it's so it'll happen twice as fast. Yes, Tim, and I try to compare it with my food, and to me, Tim, I was saying earlier that like me cooking barbecue is similar to the bourbon process. They both use wood. They both start with some what I call raw materials, which is either beef or corn, and you start adding, hey, you add some wheat, which would be some salt, some pepper. Um, you cook it up. Temperature will determine how well your food comes out, how long. Same thing with making whiskey. The heat, how much, how hot is it going to be, or how much you're going to push over. All that
Thank you for
stuff.
the hand hearts.
Yeah.
Jay, what's going on? Thank you for liking the live, everybody. I appreciate it. Tapping the screen. So back to what we were talking about the old stubborn. I got a little bit of caramel, a little bit of I almost get a little bit of for me it reminds me of like a nut bread.
Yeah. So what I get is I get the caramel, but at the end it's almost kind of like a little bit of a burn, kind of like if you have like a caramelized pecan or
Hmm.
where where you know you get that little burnt taste, but there's the sweetness in it.
Correct. KZ, welcome in. Thank you for the heart me, everybody. Shay,
How you
thank you
doing,
for the heart me.
KZ?
There's another smell that I'm smelling that I can't identify.
It's kind of like a it's almost kind of like a soda or something.
Okay.
If you have another Glencairn, this one would be one to put off to the side and let it dry out to see what you catch.
Yeah, I do have another one. I'm gonna leave that one off to the side.
Yeah, that one would be ideal.
Harry, welcome in. KZ, thank you very much for the heart me. Shay, thank you for the heart me.
Welcome in, everybody.
Thank you for the likes, everybody. We're up to 6.6, I believe that says. I don't have my glasses on today, and I don't have them on the bar.
It's 6.6. I'll read it for you.
Thank you. I
I got
appreciate
mine. If I don't, I'll bump into walls.
it. Me, I just need it for small things, and you know, looking
Yeah.
at the screen is one of them.
So you know what? I'm
Welcome
going to
in,
set that off. Let me go.
Harry. I'm
I'm going
from
to
New
go get
York.
me a. I'm going to go get me another Glen. I want to do this. I'm going to do the same thing with you, and we'll see what we compare. We'll see what
All
it
right.
does when it dries out.
This one's got a strong smell to it. How's everybody's evening? Is everybody getting information that they would like to hear? We're cousins. Nice.
Hey, if there's anything you want to ask that I can answer, I'd be more than happy to. Uh,
Mhm.
Anybody out there that if there's something they want to ask, kind of like what they were asking earlier about Penelope. You
Yes.
know, so I got another, got a smaller one. I got a weakling now.
Yeah, that's what I had originally. I had a wee Glen, and then I went to a mini, another smaller
Oh,
glass.
yeah. I was just,
I saw the Real Will Easy stopped in. I don't know if you're still in here. Welcome in. Whiskey
oh,
Neat, welcome in.
okay. Man, this one smells really good. So I love reading the Ed Bly story, right? Because he got put on the map by Jay Mattingly, and before he went out on his own. I read the story a couple of times in different articles. Were you
So
ready to
right
try the
now
blackout?
we're pouring up the blackout straight bourbon whiskey, barrel 44, age 16 years, 62.6, sorry, 125.2 proof. So Gary said, I have a wide collection, but just discovered Still Austin, and I love it.
I picked up a Still Austin today, as a matter of fact.
I've had a couple different shakes of Still Austin. I have the regular straight bourbon bottle over there. I haven't tried it or opened it, I should say. But
So
the blue corn and the red corn was not bad at all.
So this year's blue corn is going to be the one to get it. It's a 6 year.
Okay. I'm trying to swirl it around the glass a little bit.
Yeah, I am too. So here's the story with the blackout. The blackout is a nonprofit organization that actually, what they do is they have a place for these quarter horses, these race horses, whenever they retire to go, because a lot of them were getting killed. They were killing them off, but now blackout actually has a place where they get to go to retire, and they just kind of hang out. But the stuff that they do, they sell a lot of bottles. They do barrel picks,
Mm.
and you and they auction the stuff off. They have fundraisers throughout the year. They actually have a you can actually join their club that gives you discounts or free shipping on a lot of the stuff that they drop. And I ran into I was at Old Louisville doing a tasting with a bunch of guys, and and a guy by the name of Sean was bottling the stuff up. And so I started talking to him. We got to talking, and I asked him what it was. He said it's buff turkey, and he's like, "Do you know what buff turkey is?" I said, "Oh yeah." He said, "There's a bottle over there. You can try it." And I made a couple of videos on it. Very nice guy, and man, I posted it, and it was kind of funny because all the people that reached out to me all got bottles, but I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah, and so what ended up happening is I messaged them again, and they told me they would have another release coming out, and they'd make sure I got some, and I did. I got a few bottles, and man, I love it. I mean, and that was the cheapest buff turkey I bought.
So, how many buff turkeys are available or were available? Do you know of?
A bunch. A lot of the NDPs were pushing them.
Hmm.
Uh, I have I have 28 buff turkeys, and there's only a handful of them that are doubles.
Wow.
Like I have two Buckners 15s that are different. I have two blackouts that are different barrels. I think I have two seal boxes that are the same, but for the rest of them, with the exception, I think one or two others that are doubles, they're all singles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you don't want to run through those too often.
No, and eventually they're going to dry up.
Right.
And you know, I love them, and but I mean they're good. They're really good. What it was is, so I don't know if anybody knows, but what it was is back in 2005, Wild Turkey went to Buffalo Trace and asked them to distill some product for them because they were afraid that they were going to run out, because they were actually, what they were doing is they were doing a revamp. They were remodeling the place, and they wanted to make sure they had enough bourbon. So Buffalo Trace ran some stuff for them. They used their mash bill, but Buffalo Trace used their own grains. And the difference, I think, the biggest difference is that Wild Turkey, I think they bottle it like 109 to 112,
Okay.
where where Buffalo Trace bottles at, I mean barrels at like 118 to 120. I don't know the exact. I read it numerous times, but that's, to me, the only thing I really gathered from it is the difference in the proof is what created the difference in the taste. Um,
Welcome in, Wes.
And so what happened is, hey, what's up, Wes? So what happened is, some years later, when when Wild Turkey went back and they started sampling the uh, the Buffalo Trace stuff, they found out that it didn't meet the standards. It didn't meet the
Okay.
profile, the taste profile, or anything. And so they started selling these barrels off. And as they sold them off, a lot of people didn't realize what they were buying. And once they did, they started snaking them up, and man, they got real expensive.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that's what started the big craze. I mean, because the cheapest bottle I bought is this blackout right here.
Hmm.
And I think the reason it's so cheap is because they're nonprofit and didn't pay a lot for bottling. Because I think like Old Louisville let them bottle for free because it's nonprofit, right? That's his
Right.
contribution to
Right.
the whole thing. They let them use the bottler, um, and their stuff is really good. I mean, the blackout, and like I said, we're talking probably $100 a bottle cheaper.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I've the cheapest I've seen a buff turkey was like two and change.
See, so that was pretty cheap. That's what this one cost me, two and some change.
Hmm.
Everything else cost me over 300, 320 to 390. One of the best buff turkeys I have is from OKI, the Specs pick.
Hmm.
And man, that one was freaking amazing. And that to me, that is the best one I have, but I only have a little bit left because when I opened it and started drinking it, I loved it. And
That's
you know what happens
understandable.
when you
That's
love something,
understandable.
you know?
Welcome in, Kimberly. Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, when you really enjoy something, you tend to drink it a lot more. I mean, I don't aside from these handshakes that you sent me, I have no buff turkeys or anything like that. So I can relate. My Eagle Rare 10 year is almost three-quarters of the way gone. This Russell's, as you can see, is down past the
Yeah.
almost to the top of the label. So those are ones that I enjoy a lot. And to answer your question, Gary, we we were doing this tonight because
All
Moses
right,
has
Pete.
sent me four samples, and we figured we would review them, talk about them a little bit, and talk about some of the stuff that we talked about already about the neck pores and the vapors in the bottle, and then now the juices that we've been trying, the four different ones so far. We've tried Old Stubborn, the Buckner's 15, Parker's Heritage 14 year, the Buckner's is a 15 year, and the Old Stubborn, I don't remember what that one was. How old was that Old Stubborn?
The Old Stubborn is let's see, what is this? I think it's a 10 year. I'd have to go back. Actually, I'll tell you
And
right
then
now. Let
the
me.
Blackout is a 16 year. See, as I let this sit in the glass and open up while you're reading that, excuse me. See, I can't. When I nose, I close my mouth all the time, so I don't have that open. Eddie, welcome in, brother. Damn, bro. You just got home from work. You've been there since yesterday. No, no, no. We're still going, buddy.
It's not saying.
It's not
Let's see
saying
if
how
it's.
long.
No, let's see what it says
I
about
want
the
to
old
say it's
swagger.
10 or a 12 year. I don't remember.
I want to agree with you. Okay, so the old swagger is a 12 year. That is a 12 year.
So Liquor Zone is saying 10 year.
Okay, so then it probably it's a
Yes, Eddie.
10 year. Yeah. Oh, Pete knows his stuff. He's the liquor store that I go and buy a lot of stuff from.
Okay.
He's one of the ones that I do buy stuff from. And I
Cool
did
again.
a
Welcome
I
in.
did a I did a rare character pick with him earlier this year. Yeah.
Now this one sticks with you for a bit after you sip on it.
Oh, the
You,
blackout.
yeah, the blackout. I could feel it in the roof of my mouth still. It's not that I feel heat. It's the flavor is still there.
Yes.
And for me, this one, I'm trying to see what I still taste. Alrighty, Eddie. Thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you for talking in the chat and giving us feedback and
Yeah.
information. Dak, welcome in. So this
I do
we're
get a,
we're
I do get a slight black pepper. You smell the front nose. It's
now I can actually smell something.
it's got a hint of sweet to it.
Very slight hint.
Yes.
Thank you for the follow. Dak, we're reviewing the Blackout
What's up, Dak?
16 year. Thank you for the follow. So you were saying the hint of sweetness, the little bit of black pepper. I have to agree, the black pepper flavor.
Yes. There's something else in there. I'm trying to figure out what
Yeah,
it is.
that's what I'm trying to do too. That's why I keep smelling my arm and my hand to refresh my nose.
I never tried that. Oh man, I stink. I don't want to do that. Well, it's been getting hot here the last few days, along with the mugginess.
hmm It was overcast today, but it was still warm. It was definitely warm enough.
Man,
I can't pinpoint.
I can't either. It's whatever the sweetness in it's a real light sweetness.
hmm
Nothing's really overpowering in this.
No, for me, I the black pepper. You nailed it on the head. The black pepper taste is what I got, but the little bit of sweetness was still there. But it's more of a peppery taste.
Yes, there's something in there that's it's kind of I don't I want to say maybe a like a super light vanilla that's blending in with the sweetness.
Definitely oak.
It's not, yes, definitely get some oat. I like that. Um, but I mean, it's really everything is so subtle that it just blends together perfect.
That one hit me right back here.
Uh-oh.
Ronnie, welcome in. Jess, welcome in. Kimberly, welcome back. I shot it back too far and ended up.
Uh-oh.
Welcome in, fat man.
And that's what's so unique, right? If you compare the Buckner's 15 to the Blackout, same
Mm-hmm.
mash bill, same era, same everything, but they're totally different.
Completely different. The blackout is more of a black pepper. Shot it back shots. No, I got myself right in the
Oh, fat
gills.
man. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, totally different. And that's what's so unique about this, right? And the same thing with cooking. I can make two briskets or two slab of ribs and they can come out totally different, and I can do the same thing to both of them.
Right. It's now for you. Would you find because I just dabble in barbecue when I have time or when I feel like it. Do you find placement in the smoker or the grill will give you different flavors?
Yes. Some of them, some spots, because I have a barbecue pit that will hold probably 300 pounds of meat.
Wow.
And so some spots are hotter, some spots give more smoke, some spots are perfect. So normally, like, I like to cook about 12 briskets tops,
Mm-hmm.
instead of cooking the 20 that I can, the 20, the 22, depending on the size,
Mm-hmm.
because I start catching myself having to move them around to kind of so they can get so I can get balance. Because some of them be really heavy smoke, some of them be hardly any smoke, and some of them be more cooked because they're getting more heat. So constantly rotating them. Where if I get a smaller amount, say 10 briskets, I can position them to where I don't have to move them as much. I'll move them probably once, maybe twice throughout the whole process, and
Okay.
they'll all come out pretty close.
Now, do you find putting them closer to the fire is better or away from the fire is better?
So I think in the middle, there's a middle spot that's sweet. When you do that, because so normally what I've done in the past. Now I only use one barbecue pit unless I'm cooking just one. If I'm cooking like one brisket or two slabs of ribs, one pork butt, I use a smaller, and it doesn't matter. But when I'm cooking a whole bunch, what I used to do is I used to get um, I used to get like a broom handle,
Mm-hmm.
and what I would do is I would put little chunks on each door, and I'd get a flashlight and I'd hold it up in there, and you can see how the smoke travels. You can see where it would come up and it hits up, and it
Mm-hmm.
would go across the barbecue pit, and it would either hit down, or you'd see it like what it'd start doing is it'd hit the back wall and start backing up. And when it got down to by the firebox end, then you'd see it like it'd start slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. Then it would find the gap and it would go out the bottom. And so when you start looking at this, it gives you your smoke pattern and your heat pattern. Now you can't see your heat pattern, but your smoke pattern will give you an idea of what because your heat's going to do the same thing your smoke is.
Okay.
And you got to remember they're two separate things. Heat cooks your meat, smoke flavors it, and so you have to find that happy medium. And a lot of times I can look at the smokestack and tell you if it's too much smoke, not enough heat, or if you have too much heat, not enough smoke, and you try to find that happy medium
Okay.
where you get a really super light gray smoke, almost kind of like an off white. Now, if you get a real heavy white and you get a bunch of it coming out, you're not heating, you're not cooking it hot enough.
Okay.
And if you get hardly any smoke, you're cooking too hot because you're burning everything. You're not smothering.
Right. You're not creating that smoke whirlwind.
Yes.
Fat man said, my man said 12 briskets. Dude.
Yes. Yeah.
See, I can't fit but maybe two in mine.
Yeah.
Ricky, welcome in. Marty, welcome in.
But that's where that's where the difference comes in, right? Well, that's where when I started competing and when I decided I wanted to move over to catering, and then I got into the point where all I wanted to cook were half whole briskets and whole slabs of ribs. Now I would sell half briskets if I had enough people who wanted half briskets, but
Mm,
I could just cook that and set them and forget them and be done in 24 hours and not have to worry about slicing meat, making everything else and serving.
right.
Yeah, I was kind of the guy that, okay, I'll sell you a brisket. You take it home. I can show you exactly what to do. Everything when people would come pick them up and didn't know how to cut a brisket, I'd show them what to do. I could show them with the brisket that they had. Look, this
Mm,
when you flip it over, here's your grain. You want to cut cross grain. You don't want to cook. You don't want to heat up at this temperature. This is the temperature you want to heat up, and I'd tell them why. You're heating up something. You're not cooking something. And at the same time, as if you get it too hot, the heat will kill your endorphins, which kills your seasoning. And if you ever notice like when you go back and heat something up in the microwave, it gets so hot, there's no flavor in it.
hmm
Yeah. And so that's
Yeah.
where I've got to the point where I've learned I figured a lot of that stuff out.
That's good to know. That's really good to know.
So did you have the two glasses?
Yes, I do, actually.
Put them side by side and smell them both.
That's a lot sweeter.
This one is.
This is a lot sweeter.
Now this one's more like a cream soda almost.
I'm still getting the pepper on the nose.
Yes. You get the pepper on the nose, but when you
But
get past it,
if I hold it down a little bit away from my nose so it's not so far up, I get less pepper and more of the cream soda.
yeah, interesting, isn't it?
Mm. But this one smells like a you know what it kind of smells like to me? The caramel off a flan.
There you go. With the little, it's like almost
Christina,
like a
welcome in.
Mexican vanilla.
Yeah,
Cheers, Andrew. I love me some Starlight.
Andrew, welcome in. Starlight. That's one I've never had yet or
You haven't
talked to.
had Starlight is they're amazing. I loved going to Starlight. I've been there, and when I went, they have a farmers market, they have an ice cream parlor, and they have a restaurant, and you also buy the bottles.
That's
And
awesome.
their cheese, I mean, so their bourbon is really good. the stuff they're doing there with it is awesome. But man, we walked in the farmers market, and I said, I was like, I wanted a snack, so I bought some cheese curds, little bag, kind of like would you buy like a beef jerky or something, right? So I
Right.
opened it up. Um, I went back in there and bought three more bags, and I had to bring them home. I had my wife, and I was like, "You need to try this cheese."
Wow.
It was really good. Everything in there was phenomenal. I mean, these guys at the Starlight, man, it's almost like they strive for perfection. Everything they do, their ice cream, oh gosh, it was really good.
Wow.
I enjoyed it. I had a really good time there. And then they had some guys show up just to do an acoustic session. They had mics and stuff, but playing acoustic guitar, singing. I mean, really made you feel like, at home.
See, that's it. That's what I like.
Yeah. So these two right here is an example of you know, if you think about it, these are they do the same thing, but they use what we know as mash bills.
Hmm.
But if you really think about it, it's recipes. It's the same thing when you go try two different restaurants that cook the same type of food, or you go cooking or like barbecue. Two guys make two briskets. They use the same thing,
Hmm.
but they end up using different seasonings, which is basically a mash bill, and they come out totally different.
Vanilla.
Yes.
Vanilla caramel.
Yes.
As it sits and dries in the glass, the more I smell it as it dries, I'm picking up more of the stuff. Like I said, the caramel, like almost like the caramel sauce off of flan, and then
Yes.
now I'm getting vanilla and the smell of the caramel.
And that's pretty amazing how when you let it dry in the glass,
Hmm.
what it does. I do this all the time.
I'm going to start doing it more often because now I'm starting. I realize more what people are saying about, oh, I smell this, this, and this, but when it's liquid, when it's not dry in the glass, I don't pick up all the smells that I do now when it's as it dries now.
Yes.
This one
And
is like an
I
oaky. Um, it smells like a piece of wood to me, almost like a peppered meat, almost like a
yeah,
peppered jerky that's been over smoked. That's what it smells like to me.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like a piece of jerky that was over smoked with heavy smoked, and it dried out, and it's like a peppered jerky smell.
yeah. That's pretty interesting. You start pulling, and that's why a lot of times when I wake up in the mornings, I'll go through and I'll smell the glasses,
Hmm.
and then before I put them in the dishwasher, so I can see what I've got to see
Right.
if I'm still if to see if it, I feel this I can smell the same notes. Yeah, and it works.
It does work. It's amazing, and I'm enjoying smelling this one.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Now I get a hint of cinnamon.
Yes. And that's what you get with somebody like so Nancy Fraley or some of these people that I mean they can pull the notes out.
Hmm.
They can pull this out of a glass that they just poured. And so this is why like a lot of times I always let it sit up because I'm trying to discover the notes and you can.
Yeah,
I just do it a little different than most people do.
right. I definitely will start doing that more because,
Yes.
like I said, I like being able to pull those notes out as it dries because it's giving me more. I'm actually enjoying it now. You know,
Yeah.
just like I said, I'm going back and smelling it more because I enjoy the smell of it. Geezy, welcome in. Oak City Bourbon, welcome in.
What's up, Ed?
Yeah, I'm enjoying the smells,
Yes.
the notes of it. Well, I don't have any other questions that I can think of right now. And I really graciously appreciate you sending me these fours and going over them with me and
Yes.
talking about them and all the information you have shared with us.
Thank you for having me. I mean, I enjoyed it. So I have some new Kinseys coming in, and when they come in, I'll send you another set of samples with a Kinsey,
Okay.
and
Okay.
you
I
know we can
appreciate
find
that.
another local topic we can talk about, and we can review these the next set of samples.
Absolutely. I would greatly appreciate that. And
Yes,
I thank you very much. I just want to give a shout out to Preet's Liquor, who sponsors the show, along with 10th Mountain Whiskey and Bourbon Pat for the straight out of barrel merch. You got shirts, hats, and the Real Will Easy for taking care of all the stickers that we have for our podcast, and Bourbon for all the edits that he does for us. Gary Price, welcome in. Bottle to Bond for sponsoring the show with the Mini Glen and doing a giveaway with us. Also, King's Family Distillery. If you guys have not gone to kingsfamilydistillery.com, check out their bottles they have. They have the weeded. This is the high proof 155 um, American light whiskey. Definitely go check them out. And W Energy. If you use the code Bar Talks with Big on checkout, you get 30% off your order.
hey, and I want to thank you for having me. Um, I'd like to thank Big Dog Customs, Rick. He's the one who's, who does my blends for me. Does an amazing job. Give a shout out to him. Liquor Zone, Liquor Zone. He's Pete over at Liquor Zone. He's got some
Mhm.
good picks. If you go see, if you, anybody sees anything they want, I can get it and mail it to them. But other than that, I mean, hey, like I said, I want to thank you for having me. I love talking with you, in here and on the phone because you have a
Absolutely.
lot of good stuff to say. I really enjoy it. But what I'll do is when I get my Kinseys in from Rick, I'll be
Mhm.
sure and send you one with another set of samples, and we can find another topic to talk about.
Absolutely. I also want to
Yeah,
thank Rick from Bulldog Customs too. He made some Glens for me. I can't show them yet because they got to be sent out to everybody. But once they're sent out, then everybody will see them. And I am going to be talking to him again about getting some Glens that say Bar Talk or Big on them. And Moses, when I do get one, I will definitely be sure to send you one.
I
Um,
appreciate it.
and I appreciate you for sure. for the samples, also for being on the show with me and discussing everything, talking about everything, and going over a little bit about yourself with the barbecue and or about the process of the alcohol. And I appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much. Welcome in North Coast Bourbon.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for having me, Mike. How you doing, Mike? North Coast Bourbon.
Mike, what's going on,
Yes.
buddy? I
Yeah.
don't know if you want to hang out for a little bit, Mike. If you want to come on up,
Yeah.
but I
Bring
got
them on
about
up.
I got about